Here we are again. Thank you so much for joining me once again. And I want to quickly remind you of what we have learned in the previous sessions. We started by having an introduction. Is there really life after death? And I remember we said that everywhere in the world, every culture, doesn't matter the background, it does not matter your skin color, people want to know. And more than ever before, people are asking these questions, seeking for the answer, and they are watching things that are opening doors for some demonic influences, which ought not to be. And we have religions, but the only, if we want to call it religion, the only religion that has the answer of life after death, not just guesswork, but specific things said, things that you can look forward to, that will keep your mind at peace, at rest, and you would step out of this world in confidence. It's the Bible, the teachings of the Bible. So that's why we're looking at this. We also look at the components of the human person. The human nature composes of spirit, soul, and body. We took time to look at that and what happens after someone dies. Of course, there was some form of explanation of the place of the spirit, soul, and body, but we're going to have a clearer picture of that. Before the death of Jesus Christ, that is when all the things used to happen. People had to, both the righteous and the wicked had to go to Hades or had to go to Sheol, depending on who they were. They were on one side, which is the side where there is the Abraham's side, Abraham's bosom, or they are in the place of agony where people can't even quench their thirst, but they are conscious of what is happening. It's important for us to remind ourselves of that. Now we are going to look at the things that we were supposed to take note of. We had mentioned the things that used to happen. We've looked at the fact that they could recollect the life they used to live here. They were aware of what was happening there. They could also, they went with their personalities. That wasn't lost. So the idea of saying, oh, the person died and is finished, the life has faded out. No, it's the body. And you are going to find out that we will have another body. That body will be resurrected. That body is decayed. You will see how that will happen as we continue. So before the death of Jesus, here are the things we have to take note of. All souls pass into Sheol. That's the Hebrew word for it. In Greek, it is Hades. They passed on from life, the spirit, their soul went to Sheol or Hades. It is an unseen world. It is an unseen world. Unseen world. The place that was kept for the departed souls. You need to take note, remember that there were two separate places. There was a chasm, there was a gulf in between, and you couldn't cross from one side to the other because that place is fixed. So let's read again Luke chapter 16, verse 22 to 24, and remind ourselves of what we need to remember. The time came when the beggar died and the angels carried him to Abraham's side. The rich man also died and was buried. That's profound. That's very, very powerful, something to note. In Hades, remember this was written in Greek, in Hades, where he was in torment. He was in torment. He was aware he was in torment. There was no pocketry. Okay. He looked up and saw Abraham. So they could see on the other end what is happening. They could see the side where the godly people, the people who live by faith, they could see them, but they could not cross to meet each other. With Lazarus by his side. So he called to him, Father Abraham, have pity on me and send Lazarus to dip his tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, because I am in agony in this fire. So there was that recognition, there was that remembering, there was that realization of what was happening there. And verse 25, but Abraham replied, Son, remember that in your lifetime you received your good things, while Lazarus received bad things. But now he is comforted here, and you are in agony. It is your choice and mine to choose. Where will we go after this world? Before the Lord returns, where will we spend that time? And besides all these, between us and you are great, a great chasm has been set in place. Another translation says it's fixed, so that those who want to go from here to you cannot, nor can anyone cross over from there to us. So there will be an unmet desire forever. There will be an unmet, that's an extra punishment for those who are in the side that they cannot enjoy the eternal peace and bliss. Now, this used to happen when Christ did not go to the cross. So we look forward to seeing what happens now. So let's see. We discover these two men were physically dead, but they still had recognition of, they still had recognizable bodies in the unseen world. Their personality stayed with them. It persisted. One person was carried by angels, while the other was buried. And both woke up in the place where they could still communicate. They could still talk to each other, but not as it used to be. They could communicate with other people. These two separate areas in Hades, Abraham's bosom, was one side, and for the righteous as well, and the other side where people were in torment because they did not put their faith in God. They did not receive the message of the gospel. Now, you might ask, but what about those who don't hear the gospel? The Bible says that nature preaches to them. Nature preaches to them. Now, we will come to look at the example from when Jesus died, was buried, resurrected. He became the sample of what will happen. His death and burial and resurrection. His resurrection marked the difference, changed everything. So you can call that the game changer. That was the game changer. Change everything. Starting from the righteous still going to Abraham's bosom? Or are people still waiting in Hades? If they are, who waits in Hades? Who waits in Sheol? These are very important questions. And I want to be able to help you answer those questions biblically. What does the Bible say? We are looking at what the Bible teaches. And this is the only teaching that is going to give you hope. Take away the hopelessness of thinking life starts and ends here. And so people begin to do things the way they feel like, begin to ignore God, choose that if science doesn't prove it, I don't believe it. Oh, I was born into this religion. It has nothing to do with whether you are depending on science or not. It actually has to do with you reconnecting with the Father of Spirit, knowing that you are not just a physical body, but you are a spirit. Rather, you are a spirit that has a soul. You are only living in the body as a house that helps you move around, interact, do things, make decisions, choose who your friends will be, decide where will I spend eternity. All right, so this is where we'll end here, and we'll come back to look at what happened to Jesus Christ. What happened to the Messiah as far as living, dying, and resurrecting is concerned? Can we see what will happen to us there? What does the Bible teach about that? And so we bring it to a close here and look forward to seeing you in the next session. God bless you. And